Hello my dear friends, today we will discuss about data and data collection. This video will be followed by data analysis and data reporting also. So first of all, we must know what is data. Data means observations or evidences used in research as raw materials for conclusions. It is fact obtained from repeated careful observation or measurement, a fact what can be proven to be true with evidences. In scientific research, data is required through standardized research tools or self-designed measurement. Data are collected for both variables and attributes, where attributes are characteristics of individual objects, whereas variables are logical set of attributes. So data may be both qualitative or quantitative. It may be primary or secondary according to the source of data. So for all data, in that we are using a score. So a score is numerical description of an individual with regards to some characteristics or variables. We know that data are bone of research. It means without data, research cannot be founded, or we cannot present research. So we need data collection. So data collection, you can see various points we have highlighted why we need data collection. So first of all, this is essential part of an educational research to provide solid foundation of it. That's why we are needing. Then it provides definite directions and appropriate answers to various research problems or research questions. It is needed to substantiate various arguments in research findings. Data determine quality of research. That's why we need. Then statistical data are used in estimation of population parameters, drawing generalizations and testing hypotheses. Qualitative data are used to find out facts, whereas quantitative data are employed to manipulate new theory of principles. Data are used to ascertain the effectiveness of new devices for their practical utilities. Data provides solutions for problems. So these are the various reasons why we need data collection. Now we'll see methods of data collection. So based upon closeness to event, first is primary sources, then secondary sources. Primary sources, it means it is automatically first source. First you are collecting data. So there are various ways of primary sources or methods to collect data. First one is observations. That observation may be participants and non-participants, or natural or structured. It may be interviewing, structured or non-structured interviews. It may be questionnaires. Based on questionnaires, maybe that mailed and collective. And when we talk about the secondary sources, so these are already collected by someone else. Now we are just screening those data. So like government publications, documents related with government publications, earlier research, census, personal records, client histories, service records, etc. These all are various methods of data collection. Now we will see types of data. So based on closeness to event, it may be primary data or secondary data. Primary data are data observed, experienced or recorded close to event, where all sensory organs are involved. While secondary data are collected by other than users. Someone has collected, then you are screening and you are trying to find inferences from that. Those are the secondary data. Now we will see types of primary data. So this may be data by measurement. Data by measurement means what? These are the data collected by measurement. These data are in numbers and they indicate amount. Example, you can see both body temperature, number of patients, etc. Another one is data by observation. These are data refer to records of events, situations or things experienced by sense organs. instrumental observations, signs and symptoms, etc. come under this category. Then data by interrogation. So these are data gained by asking questions and probing, like pain intensity, degree of satisfaction, etc. So these all are usually depending upon subjects only. Then data by participation. These are data gained by experiencing or doing things, like experiencing of learning, handling critical cases, etc. When you are visiting your hospital and you are learning from your seniors or well-established doctors. So these are coming under this exactly. Then we see secondary data. Secondary data, these are, we have already discussed that this is collected by someone else. Now you are using those data for your own analysis and you are finding some inferences from them. So there are various types of secondary data. First one is published data. These include all published data in journals, newspapers or any media, website, etc. Second one is personal records. These are unpublished data present in forms of letters, diaries, notebooks, etc. The best example we have seen in case of great mathematician Ramanujan, where his names were not known to anyone throughout the world, but one of the mathematicians from UK, he saw his all personal records, and after that he made that arrangement so that people could know about Ramanujan as great mathematician. Then it's government records. These are in forms of survey records, census, vital statistical reports, etc. While when we talk about based on nature of data, so these are of two types, qualitative data and quantitative data. Where qualitative data means these are the data interpreted as spoken or written narratives rather than number. They are descriptive in nature. They are approximated, means they are very similar but not exactly equal to actual one. These data are observable in terms of smell, appearance, taste, fact, texture, gender, nationality, etc. They provide insights and understanding about the particular problem. When we talk about the collection methods of collection for qualitative data, that's by observation, interviews, focus group discussion, interpretation of documents, etc. So when we are talking about the observation, they are used to understand phenomena by observing people's action in everyday's life. They may be participants or non-participants. If they are non-participants, means we are doing through recordings. Examples are behavior, like we want to see the behaviors of dementia patients in hospital, any particular hospital. So that's through observations you can note down the behaviors. So this is one of the method for data collection. Then another one is interviews. These are the methods to collect data on views, opinions, experiences, beliefs, etc. So like if you ask about whether some patients, like whether you are satisfied with treatment and nursing in this hospital or not. So this is whatever they are replying, various number of respondents have replied differently. Based on that we are making data. That's the data collection, qualitative data collection with interviews. Then focus group discussion. Whenever focus group we are talking about, that's usually for selected people who are participating in planned discussion. So this is used to collect data on knowledge and ideas developed in specific group. Like a lot of times group discussions, you have hard group debate and all. These are the types of focus group discussion to collect data. Then interpretation of documents. These are collected from reports, personal documents, articles, books, etc. Now we'll see another data, that's the quantitative data. This data deal with quantity or numbers. They are concerned with measurements like height, weight, volume, length, size, etc. They should be collected through standardized tests. A scoring system is highly objective in these cases. Inferential statistics can be used to collect such data. They are interpreted with scientific accuracy. They are valid. So generalization and conclusions can be drawn easily in these cases. So methods of quantifying variables if you see, because a lot of times those qualitative data are also quantified. So number of these variables, types of variables we will see in four this way. Few of them are qualitative while some of them are quantitative, purely quantitative in nature. Still, for qualitative also you can quantify variables. Like first, if we see on nominal scale, nominal, the word itself is suggesting that's related with name or label or category. So these are the used for name or label or categories to categorize specific attributes to be measured. They are inherently qualitative in nature. So only coding can be done to put in numerical value. So through coding we are quantifying, but exact mathematical calculations are not used in these cases, as we have coded. That will, coding can be based on various names, so how you will interpret those things. So this is exact mathematical calculations cannot be done. So in these cases, if you are performing any statistical test, so we are usually performing non-parametric test in these cases. The example you can see with gender, name, blood groups, etc. Another one is ordinal scale. Ordinal, again, if you see according to the word itself, it's about ordering. So they are categorical variables where values are ordered or ranked. Quantification is done by assigning real numbers to qualitative modalities. Scoring is done through optimal scaling, like pain scaling is there, BMI ranking is there. So these all are subjective parameter exactly. That's specifically pain scaling when you are talking about. BMI ranking maybe not subjective because you can measure those things, but still pain scaling, if you are seeing that, this is completely whatever response of subject will come, accordingly we believe. Then it's interval scale. These are the numerical scales illustrating order and exact difference between the values. Like if we see that interval is 20 to 40, 40 to 60, like that, the exact difference is there. So they are quantitative measurement scale where differences between two variables are equal. 0 is arbitrary in this case, means if you start from 0 to 39 or 40, 0 is not counted at all. So it's arbitrary and of no use or no much importance in calculation. So this data may be discrete. Discrete means finite numbers related to finite numbers, or continuous means infinite numbers or which are always continued, as for increasing time or distance. This is regularly increasing. When finite number, we say that age of particular person was this only, and that at this age that person died. So that you cannot change. So that's the finite. Okay, so those are discrete, while whatever is regularly increasing means since the last 5 years is still continued. Okay, so it may be continued for 4, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, like that way. Then it also, if we talk about statistical analysis, so according to the distribution of data, like if it is normal, then like normal distribution means bell-shaped distribution, or non-normal. So if it is normal distribution is there, so parametric test, or if it is normal, then non-parametric test we will use. Then ratio scales. These are the quantitative measurement scale dealing with exact values between units. They are used in both descriptive and inferential statistics. They possess zero or characters of origin. They don't have negative values. The values can be added, subtracted, multiplied and divided. So parametric tests are well applied in these cases, but in some of the cases non-parametric tests are also applied, specifically chi-square test and all. And for statistical analysis, you will find that here we are using mean, median, mode. Those can be calculated in this. Now you will see quantitative data collection methods. So one is interview, then survey, interview, experiments, observations, document reviews. So survey, if we see for quantitative data, surveys are usually based on closed-ended questionnaires, while we are also doing surveys for qualitative data. Those are based on open-ended questionnaires. Self surveys here, these are the self-completed surveys, telephone survey, internet survey, these all are used to collect data. These are immediate methods of data collection. Then another one is interviews. Interviews we have also seen in case of qualitative one. But here it is more structured interview in quantitative data, while that was not too much structured in qualitative data. Like face-to-face interviews, telephonic interviews, computer-assisted personal interviews, these all are used to collect data. Like here we are giving if you answer properly, so that's 1 marks. If you are not answering, so 0 marks. So this way we are collecting this quantitative data. Then it comes to experiments. Here we will also include clinical trials for objective parameters. So these are the scientific methods of data collection in which careful measurements are done to establish cause and effect relationship. So here cause for independent variable, that is we are just considering as cause. So that independent variable is manipulated to measure dependent variable. That's the measuring of dependent variables, those are the effects. So that relationship, whatever the relationship is there with a specific independent variable with dependent variable or variables, so that's the cause effect relationship. So biasness of researcher when we are talking about, so this is in true experimental design, that biasness is not counted as we have already taken randomization for selection and we have taken all the precautions to avoid biasness. When we are talking about the experiments, so there are 3 types of experiments, like laboratory or controlled experiments. So laboratory or controlled means here clinical experiment we can say also. So these are performed in controlled conditions either in laboratory or elsewhere. So participants are randomly allocated to groups and experiments are executed based on standardized procedures. While another one is field experiments. So here researchers manipulate independent variable in real life setting. So real life setting, whatever is existing there, it's manipulated. So this is the reason extraneous factors are not under too much control in these cases. Then natural experiment. In natural this is applied in natural condition. It is performed where researchers have no control over variables. So replication of work is not possible up to maximum extent in this case. After that we are coming to observations. So these are the methodological applications of data collection of clearly expressed and self-conscious notations. They answer how, what, when and which type of questions. How means whenever we are talking about the quantity, how much, this way you can see. Then clinical and developmental psychologists, usually if you see, they used to collect data based on structured observations. So they used to find frequency or various other type of distribution of data through this. Unstructured observations are usually used in exploratory research. Here we are using structured. Then it's document reviews. These are the methods involving systematic screening of available documents to answer the queries. This is retrospective in nature. Retrospective means we are going in past. Whatever available data is there, we are going in those data. That's why this is retrospective in nature. Like national demographic database, you are screening, you are trying to find out something out of that. And then even screening of disease registries or inpatient case files, stored data, hospital records, etc. So these all are the parts of this. So this is enough for data and data collections. So thanks a lot. If you like this lecture, subscribe this channel, like and share this post. We are working to cover whole syllabus of BMS final year and PG first year for research methodologies and biostatistics. Thank you very much.